Hey everybody, J-Ball, Blue Jays Outdoors. In today's video, I'm actually going to go through and re-spool a lot of my heavier used rods and reels. I've already got a bunch of them put away that probably didn't get used a lot last year that I already cleaned, or maybe I put new line on this fall. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down for you guys, why I do what I do, just to make this as simple a process as possible. Because as you guys know, I'm getting into maple syrup mode, and before I attack the maple syrup stuff, I have to re-spool all these rods, and then I have to get this tackle organized and out of the way, because all my maple syrup stuff will be here. Here's the maple syrup stash. It's getting low, so you might think this is a lot of syrup, but really it's not. So let me show you guys a breakdown of how I re-spool my stuff and why I do what I do. All right, first things first, what I've done is I've actually separated these rods into their similar line weights. So I've got my two rods here. This is my Wapple Plopper rod, and this is my flipping rod that I use for dock fishing. Both of these rods get 30-pound Power Pro high vis braid and 20-pound fluorocarbon, Seaguar fluorocarbon. Then I've got my cranking rod. So I've got my chatterbait, my lipless crankbait, and my scribble crankbait rod. And then I've got my wacky rig / Nico rig rod. These all get 12-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon line on those. And then I've got my jig and my spinnerbait rod, and these both get 15-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. So I try to lay these out to make it easy as possible. So I'll attack these two first, then I'll go to these three, and then I will do these two. But unfortunately, I don't have any 65-pound braid. I was going through my stash, and my heavy flipping rod for punching and my frog rod both use 65-pound high-vis yellow Power Pro braid. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I need to order some more lines. So let's attack these guys first, and let me show you what I'm going to do as far as unspooling these things go and cleaning them. One more thing before we get into cleaning. So things you guys want to have is some good reel oil. I use this Lucas reel oil. There's a lot of good manufacturers of oil out there. I just really like this one because it's got this needle on it, which I'll show you guys here. So as far as getting into the reel and getting everything cleaned up, lubed up, that works really well. Obviously some Q-tips, some toothpicks, scissors for cutting the line, and yeah, that's about it. And a little bit of a workstation. Lighting might not be perfect for this. I've never shot something out here. This is a new desk that I have for my maple syrup stuff. So we'll give this a try. So let's start with the Wapple Plopper rod and the flipping rod. So obviously the first thing you got to do is you've got to get the lure off. So we'll go ahead and cut this off. We'll set this guy to the side. And now the next thing is we have to unspool these rods. Now there's lots of fun different ways to unspool the line from these rods, and I just wrap it around my arm just like I'm kind of wrapping up a power cord. So let me get this thing unspooled, and then what I'll do is I'll take the reel off the rod, and then I'll show you where I clean, just kind of going around the outside of this. I'm not going to take these apart. I know I probably should, but I just, right now I just don't have the time, so I'm going to go through and clean what I can clean, get this thing spooled back up, and then get to the next one. Now, something that hopefully you notice is that I do put a backing on the braid, and I might not need to do this, but this comes from my past experience of doing a lot of saltwater fishing in the wintertime, where your braid would actually spin on the spinning reel if you didn't have a backing on it. So we used to put tape on it, electrical tape, piece of duct tape. So what I've just started to do is put a small, maybe 6-foot long piece of fluorocarbon or just some sort of monofilament I got laying around. Pretty heavy duty stuff because this is 30-pound braid. But I do put that backing on there just so it doesn't spin. Probably won't do it now, but it's just kind of one of those things that I've done for years, so that's why I do it. Now, this reel is actually pretty clean. If you look at that worm gear, there's not a lot of grime or built up gunk in there. And I did go through this past fall and clean a lot of these things up as best I could, re-oil them, because I had just been fishing really hard with a lot of these reels or these setups. So what I'm gonna do is just take a Q-tip and just wipe this worm gear down a little bit. And I'll do this all this stuff in time lapse, but don't take this Q-tip and smash it in there. Like you can see the dirt that I just got off of there real quick. Just wipe it back and forth, and then reel this, kind of wipe it back and forth, and you'll get that gunk off of there. Don't reel with the Q-tip inside of there because it'll start to wrap around that worm gear, and that can be a pain in the butt. So let me go through, clean this thing off here, and then what I'll do is I'll put some oil inside of there, and then what I'll also do is put some oil around the spool right here, and then on the trigger as well. I'll put some in this little area right here. And that's, you know, if you stay up on the maintenance and keep these things clean and oiled up, they'll last you a long time. So let's do it. So I don't know if this was ever a problem for anybody that's watching this video, but I've always had an issue with trying to get the line spooled around here one time. And I found out that these holes in here, not sure if that's what they're for, but they work great for doing that. So once I get my backing line through the guide right here, I then will take the line and stick it into one of these holes, and then just reel the line around the spool one time to get my loop. So now I can just tie up a polymer knot, you know, to cinch this down on the spool. So there's a little tip and trick for you. And really, that's about as hard as it is. So now that I've got this rod all re-spooled, I'm just gonna put my leader on here, tie my wapple plopper back on. I'll readjust the camera and I'll get the rest of these done. So hang on. Just did a little bit of redneck engineering, so I took this chamfer bit, wrapped some tape around it so that it would fit in the spool of this Power Pro braid. And now I can just take the line off the reel. And do it faster. High gear. Done. Yeah, maybe a little too fast. So as you can see, I've got all the rods put away now, and the only thing left to do is to put this stuff in the man cave. But I won't show you guys that stuff because that's boring. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's kind of surreal. I enjoy this part of it, but I don't, because that means I'm done fishing for the year. But I am excited because maple syrup season is right around the corner. I can start organizing this stuff, get everything pulled out, see what I need, because I got to place an order for some stuff. So again, I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, all the support you guys give me. So be sure to hit the notification bell so you know anytime I post a video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Instagram. That's blue_J_maple_syrup. Again, cannot thank you guys enough. And remember, the easiest way to change your attitude is to show gratitude. And we'll probably see you actually in the next video doing something maple syrup related, because I'm probably not going to do any fishing unless it's ice fishing, which I don't know if that's going to happen before maple syrup season. So we'll see. Catch you later.